Take a seat. Good afternoon, everybody. Hope you all enjoyed that session. Fascinating insights from former President Fox. We thank him again. We have a very exciting session for you now. In fact, it's almost child's play, you could say. For the next half an hour, I will be speaking with Xavier López Ancona. He's a Mexican entrepreneur who in 1997 founded a business called Kidzania. It's a safe play environment where children can go and have fun and play at being an adult. They can pretend to do jobs from being a firefighter, a doctor, a surgeon, and today even a blogger, I hear. There are now 24 Kidzanias in 19 countries, all the way from Tokyo to London and right here in the Middle East. So I'm delighted to have Xavier with us today. Please welcome him. Welcome. Hola, ¿qué tal estás?
Hola, Rebecca, thank you. And thank you for everybody for being here and for the Global Business Forum for inviting us. Thank you.
Very exciting business that you have. Tell me, how did it get started?
Well, it got started in Mexico 17 years ago, and it was very easy, just watching what kids do every day. What kids do every day is they imitate our lives. They imitate adult lives. They want to become a mother, playing with a doll. They want to become a father, driving a car. So their favorite activity is role-playing, and nobody was really doing a good job on role-playing. So we thought it was a great potential to own role-playing, and not just leave it in role-playing, but making it very educational and very value promoter. So we thought that this could be a very good product to bring into Mexican kids, which in those days didn't have other options for, like fun, safe, education, and entertainment.
Edutainment, education, and entertainment.
Yes.
This is the key word. Talk to me a bit about your business model. You don't have to tell me all your secrets. You're a private company. But how does it work? Is it sponsorship funded? Is it initial capital and then it's a franchise? How does it work?
Our product is very simple. Basically, we run a series of education and entertainment centers. For us, it's equally education and entertainment. And we build theme parks about the size of 5,000 to 6,000 square meters inside shopping centers. And in those places, we design and develop cities for children to role play. The way we fund this is all of the trade that we represent to children, if we put to them supermarkets, automobile industry, oil industries that they want to learn, that they can apply in the future, we invite companies to represent those trades for example, the automobile industry in Mexico is represented by Toyota. Our oil industry is represented by Pemex. These are the experts who has the expertise, they have the knowledge, and they know how to operate this. And they bring us about 1/3 of the funding for each of these establishments. 2/3 comes from private investments. With this format, we own and operate our theme parks in Mexico, where we have today 3 and building the 4th one. And internationally, what we do is we'll find a local partner, somebody that is really embedded in the business community in each of these countries that we want to go. And it's people that has the know-how and the know-who of how to do business locally. And we team up with them, and together we develop and operate these parks all around the world.
Now, in the region, you have Kidzania in Saudi Arabia, also Kuwait, Dubai, naturally.
Yes.
Who's your local partner here, and how does that work its way into Kidzania's world?
Yes, Kidzania has to go where the children are. Okay, and in Mexico, we only have 3 large cities where we can afford to have a Kidzania. So we have to go outside and look for more children around the world. Looking for these best partners, there's 2 things. We look for a best partner, but we also look for a good spot to start in a region. In this case, in this region, in the GCC countries, we started in Dubai. We opened here in the best years of Dubai in 2010, when everything was happening here, and we got a great partner, Emaar. Emaar, of course, everybody knows Emaar is this, big company that created this new, like the epicenter of Earth. That's what they call on their new downtown Dubai. And we were able to open there, and it was very successful. Even for a small market, in population-wise, we did over 500,000 visitors, which was amazing. Nobody knew we were going to get that attendance. And because of that, it was a very good flagship. So a lot of our partners from different countries in the region approach us to try to bring this educational concept to their children also. So we were able to secure like Al Shaya, which is one of the largest corporations in Kuwait. We're also very happy to work together with Al Care in Saudi Arabia. So we really have been very fortunate to find really the best partners for these best markets for us.
Yes. And how does it work? What are the expectations of local partners here? And how easy is it brokering with Mexico and the Middle East? How do the two come together?
Yes, I think we bring a very good property. So we give them all the know-how. We design the parks, we design their operations, we provide the software. What they need to provide, of course, is the capital. They have to find the location, and they have to secure this relationship with local players. They have to have their local industry partners, that we call them, and they operate. And together we work very closely to be, first of all, a very good service and a very good product for children. And second, of course, that this is a good business and a growing business for them. So we do work, together closely, not only to help them open, but most importantly, once they open, to delivering a very good service, being profitable, and have a growth opportunity.
You do have expansion plans in this region. You have a captive audience. What would you like to happen? What further cooperation?
Yes.
And
we're very happy here in this region. We're doing very good business. Unfortunately, some of these markets only allow us to have one operation. In the markets where we are allowed to have more operations, like in the case of Saudi Arabia, as of today, we're growing. We have an operation today in Jeddah. And we're soon to start operations in Riyadh. So that's the second largest city, so we're kind of growing to that
Doha?
area. Yes, and Doha is going to open next year. We have also a very good partner. The Aspire Foundation is our partner in Qatar, and we're building, there's a new shopping center being developed, and we're going to be the anchor of the shopping center in Doha, which we're also very excited to bring this to the Qatari children.
Congratulations. Taking it back to you and your home country of Mexico, what is the climate like for entrepreneurship? Is it something that's encouraged from school up? Is this something that we'll see in Kidzania one day?
I started this business about 17 years ago. And 17 years ago, honestly, there was no atmosphere of entrepreneur at all. We didn't even have an entrepreneurial magazine. And school, I went to business school in Mexico, and I even took a class to put my own business, okay? Went to business school. And, but I think that's changing. And the government is changing. They're putting all this support to support entrepreneurs. I think the academy, now people that are studying, now we have like an entrepreneur as one major topic in most of our universities. So I think the climate has kind of changed, not at the speed that we need, okay? If you see just the numbers of the amount of entrepreneurs that the US brings, that even in this region they bring, is really very impressive. In Mexico, we are still, one of the few things that we don't produce good is entrepreneurs. So I think we have to work together. And I hope Kidzania can make a change on that. Because today, Kidzania is great to teach children about professions, about how to become a fireman, a construction worker, a banker, or maybe a marketer, and even now like a blogger or new professions. But now we're trying to deliver, or we want to ignite this spark inside children that they should become entrepreneurs. So we're going to do next year a global program for summer that we want to teach children to create their own business. So I hope that since young age, okay, we can, have this passion for children to come out and really become entrepreneurs.
It's interesting that you say it's just not encouraged at school and with children.
Yes.
Why is that? You even cited an example earlier of people who were asked to make a list of 10 famous Mexican entrepreneurs. What happened?
Yes, I was invited to an entrepreneur program in Mexico, and we did this exercise. There was about 1,000 people in the audience. So we did this exercise and said, please take out a piece of paper and a pencil that we provided and said, please write down a list of the 10 entrepreneurs that you know from Mexico. And after 2 minutes, we asked the audience, please raise the hands, all of you that finished the list. And less than 5% raised, which is very sad that it's, first, we don't have that many entrepreneurs. Second, they're not so much well-known, because maybe we have a lot of people that are starting business, but there's not this atmosphere to really create, kind of, and support and make them, big, the entrepreneurs.
Another way in which you have broken the mold is to expand overseas and rapidly, aggressively. You say that Mexican companies don't often have maybe the confidence or the will and inclination to do it. They tend to expand regionally, but
Yes.
not over an ocean.
Yeah, President Fox just said that Mexico is very good in manufacturing, and when companies are in manufacturing, they really only look to export to the US, and for many reasons that he said. And when companies like myself are in services, we don't look to the US because it's very competitive, but most of the companies only go like to Central America, to South America, and it's obvious because it's, proximity is very important, transportation is very important, it's the same language, I believe it's the same, business structure, a lot of family business. But very few, honestly, very few people really look outside, across both oceans. Very few people go to Europe, very few people go to Asia. And there are very few cases that you can see really Mexican companies or Latin American companies really trying to cross these two sides.
Not only have you gone to Europe and to Asia and to the Middle East, you're also going to the United States. Key expansion, New York, LA, and the like. We also have an entrepreneur entering the White House in January.
Yes.
So does this change things at all for you?
No, I think, first of all, Kidzania, of course, we're a Mexican company, and I'm very proud about being a Mexican. But Kidzania is really a universal concept. Role-playing is embedded in children everywhere. Children in Japan, children in the Middle East, children in Europe and in Americas, they all role-play. So, and we really target the local market. Like here in Dubai, we invite local Emirati children to come and visit us and experience Kidzania. And I think that's going to be the same case in the US. Our business was totally different. Business plan was totally different. Most people start in the US and then start growing to other parts. And we really reserve, today the largest, most sophisticated, and most competitive market for entertainment in the world is still today the US and China, and we really reserve those two territories for them. And so now we're entering our two biggest opportunities, so we're very happy that new growth is going to come to us.
And again, you see the Trump presidency presenting opportunities rather than challenges for Mexican entrepreneurs and you and your business.
Yeah, I totally agree with President Fox. I do believe this is a great opportunity for Mexico. I think everything is effort as for the U.S. It's a huge market. 85% of our trade is with the U.S., but that really prevented us from looking otherwise, okay? I think in most of the companies and most of the services that we provide in Mexico, if we look the same way like Kidzania did, instead of standing to the U.S., going to other parts of the world, I think, another thing should be happening today. But I think now is the moment to really, have this opportunity. And, we have proven, Mexico has proven that we have very good labor, very, very good, people and very good products and services because we are supplying a lot of what the U.S., which is the largest, most sophisticated, and most competitive market in the world. And we have proven ourselves. So now we have this, infrastructure, and we have these, people that are very hardworking, very honest, and that really want to continue growing. So I think we have this great opportunity now. Okay, I think Plan B that that Mr. Fox was referring is to really we have to look outside, of NAFTA, outside of the U.S.
Exactly. Please do send me any questions you might have via the digital app or raise your hand and I'll bring a microphone to you if you're in the front row, or we have two microphones positioned here. I have about 10 minutes left on the clock and plenty to get through. Talk to me a bit more about the Middle East region. Is Kidzania purely in English? Is it in Arabic and English?
Yes. We always it's very educational. So the first thing we have to attract local residents, so we do the local language. That's our preferred language. But we do have all of our franchisee to become bilingual. Bilingual in the terms that everything that's important to read, to know, and to learn, we provide that content in English. And of course, all the emergency exits, everything that you need, like it's very important for our safety of our guests, is kind of bilingual. So we're really, one of the pieces of our learning environment is that we want kids to get acquainted with English and get used to a second language.
You've said that the jobs are evolving. Will the traditional ones, the professions, the lawyers, the doctors, the surgeons, etc., remain, in addition to ones like bloggers,
yes.
TV presenters coming in?
Yes, kids are changing very rapidly. We do this global research of what children want to do when they grow up.
Yeah.
And like the first time we did about 10 years ago, the new things they wanted to be like artists and they wanted to be like famous soccer players. Little girls wanted to be veterinarians. So we came out and provide those options for them to learn that they can aspire to those in future life. We've just done the research recently and we found all these new professions that are very important for them, like becoming bloggers, a lot of technology driven. So children want to learn about animation, about coding, about 3D printing. So of course we have to provide this into the children because these are the professions that are going to be in the future. One big challenge Kidzania has is that today it is proven that almost 50% of the jobs that children can aspire when they grow up are not invented today. So today we don't know what those jobs are. So for us, it's very difficult to tell children, you come and try to see what you want to be when you grow up, when only half of those jobs are represented in Kidzania, and the other half are not invented yet, okay? Because the amount of technology and speed and change, so we have to be very innovative and very fast, okay, to follow, where the future is going. And I think it's starting from our side of the work.
And did you always want to be an entrepreneur when you were a little boy?
No, when I was very small, I wanted to be a magician. So I put a magic shop for children to become kind of a magician. And the entrepreneur came kind of late in life, but I'm very happy, and I really hope that we get more entrepreneurs, not only in Mexico, but in most of these countries.
Of course, that would be magic. The golden age for your business is 5 to 10-year-old children.
Yes.
You span from 2 to 12-year-olds.
Yes.
What is the feedback that they give you? What are they telling you directly?
First of all, we do a lot of market research with them. We have very big ears, and we go and listen to children. Things are happening to us. I think the kids that we started knowing 16 or 17 years ago have changed dramatically. And I think has a lot to do with technology. So the span of attention of children has come down dramatically. Before our activities, we were able to engage children in activities that were 30 to 40 minutes long. Today, if one activity is longer than 20 minutes, we lose a child. So we have to shorten because they want higher, more often, more repeatable activities. So we have been learning from them that they want to, they're quicker and faster, and, they want to learn more. So we have to be adapting from them. And also, I think kids every day are demanding more independence. And I think it's good to give them the independence where they can make their own decisions and they can do what they want. And, but that's not only happening in Kidzania. I think all of us have to work together to really make children make their own decisions and be more independent since younger age than it used to be before.
In terms of key growth markets, you're seeing, internationally, 10 million visitors per year, more than 50 million to date. These are huge numbers we're talking about. Is there one Kidzania that is leading the charge, where the kids are stampeding through the doors?
Yes, our best operation today is Japan. And it has to do, of course, it's the largest city in the world. Tokyo is 35 million people. All of them have income to spend in Kidzania. But I think the real difference is that the Asian people, and very headed by the Japanese families, are pretty much into investing in their kids for education, quality time of the parents with the kids. So this effort to really make their kids different and more educated and better chances in life to succeed, we see it very clearly in Japan. Parents really put all the resources they have to do to really make this happen. And they see Kidzania very educational. So they're really, Kidzania in Tokyo is today, after 10 years, is pre-sold in advance for 3 months. So if you want to buy a ticket today, you have to go online and you get the ticket to go in 3 months. So that's really, I think it's a good product with a good market, but very important, this consumer really needs this kind of product. They see it as a good thing for the children.
Yes, indeed. Do you have any questions from the floor? If so, please raise your hand. Yes, please, gentleman in white. If you wouldn't mind stepping over to the microphone, please.
Javier, how are you? Good to see you here. We don't get to see you in Mexico, but to see you outside.
Yes.
Javier, you are very well known in Mexico as a visionary. You have started something that nobody else have thought of, and with that comes also a big responsibility because you are dealing with children. So the visionary that you are, what are you doing on the health issue for children? Is Kidzania going to be doing any special programs where, as you know, in this region, just like in Mexico, one thing we also have in common, which is obesity, children obesity and diabetes. So would Kidzania be doing any special programs to introduce to kids healthy eating, organic, to go on a healthy line of eating?
Yes. I think it's a very good question, and I think it's the right moment for that question because in Mexico we are facing this, we have some health issues with our population. We just became the most obese society at the children age in Mexico. So, of course, government, private institution, and families really want to do something about this. So today we are developing a new product, which is really, just as Kidzania is fun and education, this is fun and health. So together with the government of Mexico City, we're trying to develop a program where we're going to teach, not only children, we're going to teach children from 2 to 99 years old, okay, how to eat healthy, how to become active, how to be with nature. So we're teaching all these things that I think, we want to create conscious, that they should live a better life.
And you're also very careful about the brands which you have inside Kidzania, be it food and drink brands, well-known fast food chains.
Yes, of course.
Are they allowed? Are they not allowed? I've seen images of children running around supermarkets picking up fruit and vegetables as opposed to cans of well-known drinks.
Yes, of course. The trays that we represent children, in front of children, they have to be good trays. We have nothing that is not good, for kind of our children appropriate. So we try to do all the trays that are, kind of good and are future trays, and then they are safe and healthy for the children. So we do promote, safety, health, and, kind of representativeness in the trays and the activities we supply to children.
Thank you. Any other questions from the floor? If not, then I have one on my digital pad here. In your experience, Javier, do you see any other similar entertainment businesses from Latin America being successful in Dubai, in the Middle East region, just like yours?
No, I haven't seen very few Mexican companies kind of competing here in Dubai. I would love to have more, of my fellow, kind of entrepreneurs and businessmen to come to here. And I see some other concepts growing in other parts of the world, but really, mainly in Latin America, honestly. It's really, they really are growing in Central America and South America, and maybe to the US. But I think these type of platforms, that we, this part of the world and our part of the world, that they can come closer. And I think there's a very big potential of, what we can do, these two big, kind of economic regions of the world.
There is huge potential, and perhaps one of the hurdles, it's taken you 3 planes to get here and countless hours, but is connectivity again?
Yeah, I think there's many things that, from, GCC or the Arab world to Mexico. First of all, I think there's a very big lack of awareness. Our people know very little about your countries, about your people, about your culture, okay? And there's misrepresentations, and I think exactly the same, People from here know very little about, our country, our region, about our culture and how we are. And I think, first this awareness has to change. And it has to change with many things. Bring in business, tourism. Mr. Fox was saying, about tourism. Mexico, we are one of the largest destinations for tourism. We do about 32 million international tourists. We account, like the 9th country with more tourism. And if you see the numbers, very little of them. Okay, we get tourism, of course, from the US, South America, but we get a lot from, Europe, some from Asia, but really very little from here. And on the contrary, Mexicans are also starting to, we have an upcoming middle class, and we're having, tourism abroad. Also, those numbers are growing, but we go also to the same places. So I think we have to promote kind of tourism among two things. Another thing I think we can do between the two regions is, for doing business, as President Fox was saying, we're one of the countries with more free trade agreements in the world, if it's not the country with more agreements in the world. We have 12 agreements. We tap into 42 countries, which represents over 80% of the market in the world. And coincidentally, we don't have a free trade agreement with any of the countries in this region. So one thing I think we should start is really to have some, kind of government to government or, economy to economy to really start promoting, We see how NAFTA was very good with Mexico. And as President Fox just approved, I think, this could also become a very good story now that we're going to have less business to do with NAFTA. I think now is a very good moment to really start building these bridges and, this kind of infrastructure. Yeah. So I see a great future of our relationship. And I think the biggest opportunity here is that since there's almost nothing, we're really starting from scratch. So there's all this, big opportunity just to do, trade, tourism, interchange of people, educational, business coming here, business coming there. And we have many things to offer you. We have very good manufacturing. And, you have very good services, okay? You have a big supplier for us for gas and our industries. So I think there's a lot of things that we really, it's just a matter that we have to really start making things happen.
Certainly lots of synergies, lots of potential tie-ups. And as you say, it's building bridges and meeting minds, as we might say here.
Yes.
Philanthropy, just to finish on, and giving back to the community is a huge part of your work. It's very popular with corporate and government entities here. How does it work in practice?
Well, we do two things. One, as a corporation, we try to give back. And I think the biggest commitment and biggest investment is every day to make Kidzania more affordable for more children. And second, to make it more educational. So this is really not only a fun experience, but an experience. But I think most importantly, and I believe where Kidzania can make a change, is really to teach children from all over the world to give back. Because we have our own economy, we have our own money. You know, children spend their kitsos, but they also work and earn kitsos. So we're teaching them about the world of work. And we're teaching them that they have to save those kitsos for the future and that they have to earn interest and save it for better, bigger or better things. And, but we're also teaching them to give back. So children, after they work and they earn a salary, okay, with their kitsos, we have programs where they can go and donate this to, children-related costs. So we're teaching them to give back. In most of these cases, we find a sponsor who will translate those kitsos into real dollars, okay? And will support the cause that the children are really wanting to help. So it feels very nice to see, kids really giving up, the money they make with their hard work, and they're really giving it back to, institutions that, support children causes.
Fantastic.
So it's about teaching and awareing kids that we all need to give back.
Lovely. And lastly, any children wanting to be president, be it of Mexico or anywhere else so far?
Well, we do have government. They can become ambassadors, or they can become congressmen, or they can be jury. But we work very closely with the government. Like in Mexico, in our 3 parks, we have a tax office. Okay? Taxes are not that big in this part of the world, but in Mexico, taxes are very important. So we're teaching kids that they need to pay taxes. But more important than teaching them to pay taxes, we are teaching them in an experiential way what are taxes for. So with their taxes, they have to go and they have to say, I want my taxes to be used for health, more hospital, doctors, nurses, or for education. I want more schools, books, teachers. So we're teaching them why we need people to pay taxes. And nobody believes it, but one of the longest queues we have in any of the establishments in Kidzania, Mexico, is that really children queue to pay taxes. So I hope, when they grow up, they will stay with this, very good habit.
It's good conditioning early on.
Yes.
We have to leave it there. Xavier Ancona, the CEO of Kidzania, thank you very much for your time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.